Deathwatch.
Alright everyone, welcome back to Deathwatch Productions' Call of Cthulhu. We are picking up where we left off on the Seeker of the Depths campaign. Quick recap from last time. The investigators have joined G.E. Kincaid in his attempt to prove to the world that he actually did find Egyptian hieroglyphs and proof of Egyptians in the Grand Canyon. They traveled downriver for a few days and then found a good camping spot. Found several caves in the cliffs that looked promising, and when they investigated them, they have found much evidence to support Kincaid. At the end of the game session, they had found some strange creatures inside one of the caves, along with some Egyptian hieroglyphics, and managed to escape from these creatures and get back to their camp. And they were planning on heading down to, or I believe we had left off right as they got back to camp and found the information about the southern caves. So we'll be picking up from there. But first, let's introduce everyone. I'll start with Brandon.
Yes, I'm Brandon. I'll be playing Arthur Johansson, and I'm a river guide who knows nothing about Egypt or Egyptians and didn't expect to find anything on this trip. But when we did, now I'm very reluctant to return to the caves with these odd creatures that are clearly dangerous.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm playing Dr. Eugene Tarnahan, a doctor who has recently taken a sabbatical due to PTSD from losing 47 patients in his ER.
I'm Travis playing James Higgins, a young occultist from a wealthy New York family, and I'm excited to return to these caves because I foolishly believe there's no danger from these creatures.
I'm playing William Sterling, the archaeologist from Egypt, here to oversee the sloppiness of Kincaid and have after finding the Egyptian glyphs in the cave in our last expedition, my character is very excited to go back and keep putting the puzzle together.
And last but not least, John.
I'm John playing Harold Jacobson, who's an orphan that was taken in by a Hopi tribe and returned to civilization, who's currently been working with, I can't remember what his name is, Arthur or something. I just met the guy 2 weeks ago. So. Arthur Johansson, sorry. And I'm also a bit hesitant to return to these caves after hearing some of the stories that they came back with, as it's obvious that there's some type of gas leak or something in there.
All right. So yeah, we'll pick it up where we left off. Everyone had just reached the camp and traded tales on what they'd undergone, and they are planning for what they intend to do the next day.
I just wanted to say how lore appropriate it was for you to not bring that piece with the Egyptian writing with you from the cave. That's literally what an H.P. Lovecraft protagonist would do. Because then we'll die here shortly and no one will know. But yes, I think we're planning to go to the southern cave with the chasm climbing gear. I'm quite excited to do so. Are you all ready to set off?
Yeah, sure.
It is night. Like you just barely got back to the camp, so
I would suggest waiting for morning before we leave. I know you're eager.
Of course.
But
Well, if we're going to go back in there, we need to go prepared. We'll need light,
let's go get some dynamite.
and we'll need weapons. That sounded like there were a lot of those, and if they decide to attack, they're big enough to be dangerous, whatever they are. Clearly, they already killed one person.
And Harold, you do have several weapons that you can share with the rest of the company if you want.
Yeah, Harold, you got some gats?
Or let's see, did that not
Let me
transfer
see.
over on your? Yeah, no, they're there. Those shotgun ones, you have two shotguns that are the 2-gauge shotguns.
So do I have everything that's in my my combat thing? 'Cause, I'm like
you've
a damn gun store here.
Your shotgun is broken out by range for damage purposes.
Oh,
So
okay.
you don't have 3 of them. You've got you've got 2
I
of
got
them.
this is my short gun or short range shotgun. The holster, sling that on my shoulder and unsling another one. This is my medium range shotgun. I know they look exactly the same. And then you got old reliable long range shotgun.
Yeah, the choke's different on them. It works.
But yeah, so you've got your
I got about
30-06 with
3.
you. You've got your 22 bolt action rifle, and then you've got 2 shotguns with you.
Well, I'm good with my 357 Magnum revolver.
As who does not have a firearm?
I do not have a firearm.
As I'm gonna hand him a shotgun.
All right.
I'll look down the barrel.
Yeah,
Is it loaded?
I knew you were gonna-
No, take it back.
So, Dr. Eugene, you're going to take one of the shotguns?
Yep. And there's only one way to tell if these things are loaded. I'll point it at one of my companions and pull the trigger.
You could have asked.
He did. He even looked down.
I
the
am a
barrel.
man of action.
All right.
And then we'll need to make sure we have plenty of light, lanterns, electric torches. What else creates light?
The sun.
That's
Yes.
why we need dynamite.
We'll need the sun.
Is
Perhaps with a
James Higgins and William, do you guys have appropriate firearms?
I do not, and I am uncertain if I have the skill to use one appropriately.
You're an American.
As you strike me as a 22
Yes, but I have a
bolt action rifle
transatlantic
type of guy.
affectation.
All right, Chris, will you make sure
You're
you
gonna give me a rifle?
shotguns in your
Yeah.
inventory?
I see it on the combat
Figure
skill.
a young frail kid like yourself
Okay.
probably
Yeah, that should be
better
should
off
be it.
with this.
Well, that is my highest firearm skill rating.
I also don't have a firearm. William here.
Is
Do you have
shotgun
anything else?
or a 30-06?
I'd
one
take the
do you
shotgun for this close quarter fighting.
You got it. As I'll unsling the last shotgun and hand it off.
Plus, you also get a slightly higher skill base in shotguns and rifles. So,
Oh, you know what I need?
gotta.
I wonder if we shouldn't send our porters back to the cave, bury that body,
Oh,
and then watch the hole
See if
we've
they
blocked
return.
up.
Hmm.
See if anything's come out of it.
What was it? Was the tunnel that they found in the south? Was that one wide open or?
Yeah, the way that he described it when he got back was that it looked just like a natural hole in the cliff face that went through, and then on the other side of kind of a chasm, he could see another entrance, and he could see kind of a door.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. But as the ones closer to camp, make sure it's sealed off, that they can't overrun us. If I believe that hogwash, which I do not, small lizards running around grabbing people.
And William, you got the shotgun too, right?
Sound like that chupacabra.
Yeah, I gave him one.
Okay. And 1d6 at a range of 10,
By the time I'm done with this character, he will be Bobby Boucher's mother.
He'll be ready to go off into the world and lose another 47 patients.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the only thing that will keep him sane from now on.
I don't know what it is. I just find some sort of comfort when their screams stop.
All right, so John, you have your 30-06 rifle with you and your machete.
And don't forget my trusty machete.
Yep. Got your big knife.
So the fun stuff, Josiah, is when we start shooting. Because we're going to probably kill them and not the bad guys. It's going to be fun.
All right. So, yeah, when you're talking about that second cave down to the far south, you know that it will take about a half a day to get there. If you have to scale your way down the cliff, go across the little chasm and then come back up. Which...
Oh, so maybe we should move our whole camp.
I swear to God, whoever say that, no. I already set this up. Dang nabbit.
So, solidified a plan, or... So, it sounded like you guys were going to head to that southern one. Yeah, there is the suggestion that you move the camp a little bit closer so that... Closer to that cave entrance.
Well, I guess we'll have to come back this way for the boats regardless.
One of the porters mentions that they need to move downriver to meet your next supply drop anyway, so they can take the boats and meet you just...
Get the heck out of here.
Yeah,
I knew it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But no, they said they can...
meet us here at Bright Creek.
Yep, that they will put the camp at the bottom of Bright Creek.
All right.
Bright Angel Creek.
Let's move the camp then.
But it will take them about 2 days, 3 days to get the boat that far.
If this is our plan, I think we should spend another day at the North Tunnel, recover that Egyptian writing, go that little bit further that we couldn't see before we just have to backtrack.
It means I don't gotta tear all this stuff back down. I'm for it.
Wait, are you fat?
That would give you a day to try and tear
Is your
that
character
down.
fat?
I play him like he is. He's like 47 or
Do
something.
we think he'd be able to fit through that hole in the door?
If he does, it would be very tight. But most likely he will not fit through that door.
Well, the joke is I can.
Oh.
Right, because like, what was it? It was, I forget what you said. What it was like?
Yeah, it was
size.
body size. Yeah,
Yeah, so like
size,
he's like smaller, but I play him like he's small and rotund.
Yeah,
but yeah, like I'm a size 40 with a 62 dex, so I could probably go through there pretty dang easy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's same size as me.
yeah. So yeah, he technically should be able to wiggle his way through, although he will probably scrape up his clothes.
Yeah.
Probably need a boost too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Are you guys going to set watch tonight?
Well, had I seen anything in that cave that looked like a lizard man that they're talking about?
You didn't see anything at all.
Okay.
And we only saw glimpses of something running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although,
And we did block up that hole a little bit anyway.
yeah. Actually, I guess he wasn't there, so yeah.
Well, the corpse wasn't preyed upon. It was a defensive kill.
Yeah, well, there were some chunks missing.
And how
Maybe
did it
from
get
the-
there?
Defensive chunks.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, if you come across an animal that's been killed by something, it's tore up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In my limited experience, that is.
And Arthur, roll your natural world. Oh, and Harold as well.
I'm just trying to maintain my theory that they eat lichen.
So Brandon, you rolled an extreme success on yours.
Fumble.
Oh, I see. I thought it didn't roll. Okay.
No, yeah, it rolled the you rolled the one that has advantage and disadvantage to it, or what are they called?
Penalty. Yeah.
Penalty
Oh,
and,
I see.
Yeah, advantage. But yeah, your first one was a 4, so that was an extreme success.
Oh.
So yeah, seeing the body out there on the cave entrance, you know that it wasn't something they were feeding upon. It was like they were disposing of it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, they just wanted it out of their
Territory.
their den.
Yeah.
And really, if they live in there, are they likely to be meat eaters anyway? I mean, what's down there for them to eat?
You know that there may be, you know, insects or
maybe they eat
or other
bugs
things
or
like that, or
burrowing
bats or
creatures.
things that also live in caves. So there's a possibility, but for the most likely situation, if they are meat eaters, and it's smaller creatures.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think they were just trying to keep them out of their territory.
But now they got a taste for human.
Well, so they'll certainly be violent with us when we go back. We should be prepared for that, but I don't think they'll come seeking us out.
All right.
Oh, that's good, because your words have lifted a burden from my soul, and so I'll thank you for that, and I'll go to bed. And I'll down the rest of my, what's it currently in my flask. I'll have to refill it from the magical stockpile in the morning.
Yep.
And I'll stamp out my cigarette or toss it in the fire, and I'll just head off to my bed.
All right. Everybody else heading to bed too?
Yep.
Stay up for just a little while and then go to bed.
Yeah, really, the only thing we got to worry about out here in these parts is mountain lions, or as I like to call them, cougars.
He's such a straight shooter.
All right. So you're going to stay up for a little while?
Yeah, I'll stay up for a bit with
Harold?
Harold, yeah.
Okay. And then James and William, are you going straight to bed, or you going to be staying up for a little while?
Yeah, I'm just trying to sketch out what I feel like I saw those creatures.
Okay. Yeah. You are an archaeologist, so you have some skill in at least sketching. You're probably not going to be a fine artist, but you might be able to capture some of what you saw.
Yeah, and is it I wondered if it's perhaps like the Sphinx kind of creatures, like some sort of chimera.
You mean like a
Is that what my
chupacabra?
drawing is? Do I magically draw? Can I roll for that? That's my question.
You got to be careful. If you roll for a drawing, you can create a mythos artifact.
Yeah.
That drives people insane
Yeah.
when they look at it.
What did we make him roll for that?
Well, they have that skill, and
Yeah.
if he doesn't have any training in it, then I think most of the arts start at 5%, something like that.
Well, if it's linked to his archaeology, that he's
Well,
arts and crafts is 5.
I would
I'd
Yeah.
offer some conjecture that an archaeologist is an artist,
Mm.
and that
So-
there's
We'll let you do a hard archaeologist check.
All archaeologist checks are hard. He was born for this.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually get a pretty decent representation of it, of what you saw drawn down.
And how would you describe it? So it's like a lizard legs,
Um,
tail.
yeah, the way that you saw it, the color of it and texture of it seemed almost to match stone. But yeah, the way that it moved its legs seemed almost lizard-like. And then at the end of each of its 2 main legs, it's separated into 4 smaller appendage-like things that it seemed to be using to gain purchase and grip things.
Interesting. Okay.
And then there was a third one on its lower part of its torso that seemed to be more like a tail, more flexible. And then it also had 2 upper arms that also seemed to have the same kind of appendages at the end of it.
And would you call the appendages are they mammalian? It seems like it's the same joints that we see in nature and
You barely caught a glimpse of it, so you don't have full it's not like you had have a really clear picture of it. You saw it for a half a second as it fled into the darkness, so you can get a rough sketch of it. But yeah,
And the bone we found, was it missing the hand part?
yeah,
So it just have the basic arm?
yeah, it was
Okay.
just like a basic arm bone or something, or forearm bone. If it follows the same kind of anatomy. Everyone that's up, make a spot hidden with is it the green? No, the purple.
Oh.
I live
Well, I
for
failed.
nighttime spotting stuff.
But Harold's got the night vision.
So yeah, you got a regular one, but not hard.
William got the hard.
William got the hard. All right. So yeah, you're doing your sketching, and you see something move just uphill from the camp, and then it's gone.
Does he suddenly have that feeling of being watched? Is the forest or the canyon quiet too?
No, the canyon actually has all of its normal sounds and stuff, but Yeah, he definitely feels like there's something out there.
Okay, well, being an older gentleman, I'm gonna head over there and take a closer look and take a whiz
Okay.
before bed.
Yeah, you get up there and you find the corpse about 100 feet away from camp.
All right,
So what? Now they're just leaving their garbage at our camp step.
so I'm gonna shout back to the camp. I think is it a fresh corpse?
It's the one that you had seen before.
That you guys didn't want to move because it was starting to bloat.
Oh God, yeah, I think I'd be terrified. Oh, at the camp, the corpse, and kind of try to rouse everyone and get them to come look at it.
Doesn't rouse us.
As I will
Yeah.
immediately grab my firearm and head his way.
Yeah, that definitely rouses
I'll
everyone.
forget my rifle at my sleeping area.
Like a true scholar.
But did you remember your walking stick?
I don't have a walking stick.
Yeah, I'll grab my gun and I'll hop out of bed
Okay.
and see what all the shouting's about.
So yeah, you get up there and yeah, the corpse that you had seen is there in almost the exact same shape it was before. Like it seems unlikely that it could have been moved without having it deteriorate, but here it is in the exact same state you saw it before.
Because I'm going to exclaim, did they kill a second person?
It's
No,
the
this
same
is the
corpse.
same one for sure.
This is the one you guys wanted me to take a look at.
Yeah.
It's a corpse.
Yeah. Well, I don't like. How did it get here? So I'll like look around and see if there's signs that been dragged here or what. Like, is there a path from where it is?
Roll your track.
Oh, let's go take a look at this body
I was
here.
about to ask that too, is can I roll track to see if I can find some tracks?
Yeah, I
go
don't
ahead
really
and
have
take a roll.
I'll head back to camp real quick and grab
Spend 8 luck.
my medical bag.
Okay.
And
So yeah, Harold, as the good doctor is heading back to get his medical bag to do a further investigation of the corpse, Harold spots some tracks leading up to the body. It's pretty, like once you see them, you recognize them as the same kind of weird dimple pattern in the dirt that you had seen up above. And yeah, the tracks lead straight to that cave.
It's obvious they don't mind venturing out.
Why would the creatures bring the corpse to us? Is this a sign of some rudimentary intelligence?
Can I do a natural world for some type of comparison to a modern critter that I'm familiar with that might...
the chupacabra.
Yeah.
I also hate to be that guy, but does John's character have dead body?
No, he does not. So yeah, you've got to roll your
I
sanity.
hate to be that guy. Of course we want to see them all go insane.
Roll your sanity, Harold. Okay.
Pretty
So even though it's a disturbing case, you're also a hunter, so yeah, you're used to seeing
I've killed people before. I mean...
Plus
animals.
Animals.
You've killed
Animals.
Filthy
Yeah,
animals.
I also know what it's like when your wife disappears mysteriously.
It could happen anytime, anywhere, on a boat, in a plane.
So yeah, if you want to roll a natural world to see if it has any comparisons for the scholars or anyone else, they can roll like an anthropology to maybe see.
I think we should start dissecting this corpse.
All right.
Fail.
Oh, just give me a bit. We'll see what I can do.
I got a hard success.
And
So what you
Williams,
got
if you wanna
here
roll, if you want to roll an anthropology check.
What the heck is anthropology?
No one knows.
It's this.
All right, so yeah, one natural world success, one hard success.
It's a pretty wide field, but
It's so for Harold, you don't know of any creature that would do something like this. Arthur, the only comparison you can make is like a dog fetching something for a human. Like that's the closest thing you can think
Or
of.
like
is,
a cat, maybe.
yeah,
Leaving trophies.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's the closest comparison you can make. But you don't understand why it would be doing that for people it doesn't know.
Yeah. Like, what's the point?
Yeah. So good Dr. Eugene, if you want to roll your first aid.
First aid or medicine?
Roll both.
All right, get some light over here for me. These old eyes can't see.
Especially 'cause it's-
an electric torch for him.
Oh, nice. So he just starts hacking and slashing like a good doctor does.
So he goes in. Yeah, he's
Can I try to vent this corpse to prevent it from popping?
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
first thing we're going to do here, we're going to vent this, so you all might want to not stand downwind.
So yeah, he vents it, and with your first aid roll, like you can immediately see that this person died of blunt trauma to the skull.
All right.
Like that seems like the most apparent. Like all the other wounds on there are, lightly bleeding, but seem to be done mostly post-mortem.
All right, most of this seems to be done after the guy was dead. You see here this fracture on the back of the skull? That would done him in. Everything else, I don't know, maybe they playing with it.
What caused that fracture?
Can I tell? Maybe crack the cranium open, see if there's anything inside, or
Yeah, you can do a further investigation. Do another. We'll count that medicine roll towards this. Yeah, it looks almost like just a rock hit it or something like that. Like just something heavy and hard. And
could it have potentially been done from like a fall, like was like climbing, or is there not enough like neck trauma?
yeah, there's not enough trauma on the rest of the body,
Okay.
scrapes and things like that to kind of think it happened that way.
I'm going, if I had to guess, man, something potentially threw a rock at it, or knocked a rock loose and it fell on his skull. Just cracked it open.
And how old do you think the body is, Doctor?
This heat,
Level of decomposition,
Probably 4 or 5 days.
4 or 5 days. Would that signal that maybe it wasn't in the sun, maybe it was in deeper caves, or?
Yeah.
but as hot as it is down here, I'd say it was probably like most likely in one of these caves. Probably pretty deep, kept it cool, allowed it to rot instead of desiccate. Yeah. Okay.
And then make another medicine roll.
Just a second, I got roll some dice here. I'll be right with you.
Oh no. Push.
Yeah, you can push or you can buy it with luck.
If he
Always push.
pushes and fails, does the
Corpse explode.
yeah, like, and sanity rolls around?
Man,
Yeah,
what is
it'll
that?
be something similar to that.
How
Yeah.
much is
that
sure.
7?
7.
Push it.
Always push. Bam.
Hard success. All right. So, yeah, when you vented it, you noticed like you caught a smell that you've smelled before that made you suspicious. So you cut open its gut and you find just a mass of cancerous polyps inside it. Like from the state of the body, this person was dying before whatever hit him in the head.
To be fair, whatever done him in probably did this poor man a blessing. You see all this mass? He was dead man walking long before he ever got hit with that rock.
Yeah. It's in the gut?
Yeah, like it is spread throughout all of his major organs. You can
It's,
see it just.
Given its location and the fact it's metastasized throughout the body, it would have been very painful. This man was probably in agony.
And Harold, what was it that I had given you for that? What was it?
That said, if these creatures are as intelligent as you saying they are, maybe they're giving us back to him so we can bury him.
Well,
Yeah,
yes,
or like a communication, like they were saying with the cat bringing the mouse.
Mm.
It's like showing its ability to damage us.
I was mostly joking. I don't believe there's these lizard folk out here.
Well, yes, that is what's curious to me.
William, roll your a D100 for your Hopi Storyteller special ability.
No, not William.
William?
Or, sorry, Harold. Sorry.
Okay. That was the language, right? Or which one was it?
It was just roll a D100. It was just a 50-50 chance of
Can I, would medicine have covered what I potentially think the superficial trauma could have been? Like the stuff that's like missing, was it like pulled off or?
Yeah. You can tell that it's almost like the skin has kind of been peeled off as it was moved. Like some of it looks like it was scraped, and you can kind of piece together from their story of how they had to crawl through the tunnel in order to get through that hole in the door, that some of the skin was probably peeled off as it was pushed through that hole.
So it not looking like these creatures just sat around and savaged the corpse?
No, it looks like whatever happened is skull got caved in for something, and then the rest of it was just handling the body and pushing it through and trying to get it out.
Was it still partially clothed?
The clothing is kind of shredded on it.
I'll search for ID.
Okay. Yeah.
Or some sort of identifying markings or paperwork or something.
Yeah, no identification that you can find. And one thing that kind of surprises you is that, like, when you really search the pockets, there's not really anything in its pockets. Like, you would expect to see some sort of supplies if he was out this far. But yeah, there's nothing.
Wedding ring?
No wedding ring.
Maybe he knew of his illness and went to this place for his death.
Oh, as bad as this is, he knew.
Maybe, because we couldn't tell the race of the man because of the decomposition.
Yeah. Yeah. From the little bit of clothes, he seemed like a common farmer type. He's got some like flannel and jeans and like, yeah.
Well, we can give his boots a lick and see if we can place where the dirt comes from. Wow, this is pure West Virginia soil right here.
All right, so Harold, you did not succeed on your Hopi Storyteller, so yeah, we will continue on. So yeah, you've got the body here. You've got.
Should we sleep after this, or should we go into the cave now? Just
Well,
get it over with.
I'd be too curious to sleep, I suppose. But I feel like it's still, because you were still up late, right? And you went off to take
I don't think
leak.
going into the dwelling of a wild creature we're unfamiliar with late at night on little sleep is going to be the best idea.
Yeah, and the doctor did take a little while to do his full medical examination of the corpse. So yeah, it's probably a little bit after midnight.
Plus, my feet are trying to turn into one giant blister.
We should get what rest we can, but we should definitely set a watch for the rest of the night.
No.
Yeah, and let's wear ourselves out by putting rocks on this corpse. See if we can stop it from moving again.
That's what Jebediah and Alan are for.
Yes.
Yep. So yeah, your porters, they actually are like
Build a cairn in the style of
they will take up the task and say that they'll also keep watch while they do it. So
Thanks.
yeah, if somebody will wake up early and give them some rest, then yeah, they'll take the first half of the night.
You are a blessing in disguise. Good night, gentlemen. Wake me if the corpse moves.
All right.
Yeah, if they're going to offer that, then I'll go and try to get some sleep.
Yeah, I'm fine waking up early. I'm guessing I'm probably pretty used to either odd hours or early hours.
Yeah. With an ER rotation, you kind of get in the habit of having hours shift on you. So.
And also, that's when the dreams start after a couple hours. I'm just imagining that they brought in all these victims and you were just so overwhelmed you just stood there.
So yeah, the rest of the night passes uneventfully. Those of you who do manage to sleep a little bit fitfully, but yeah, you wake up the next morning and the body has been covered. There's like the ground around here is not really conducive to digging a grave, but yeah, they've got a cairn set up.
So we were like ready to go, and we go to that cave.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Let's go.
I gotta spend the
all
day
of our
tearing
stuff
down.
and go.
Well, I'll give my, as I stayed up late thinking about this, I'll run by Sterling that I've thought of two motivations for these creatures. And one is that the man knew he was sick and came here to die, and that perhaps they just returned him to who they mistakenly thought were the people he belonged to.
Oh, interesting. Like we lost him.
Right, like they thought we were maybe the Hopi or something like that. Alternatively, it was just a disgust response to one of our corpses in their area, and they might not take kindly to us going there again, which we somewhat expect, but perhaps if it is the former theory, that if we approach with the proper humility to these creatures, that we may come through unharmed.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what that tunnel looks like that we blocked with rocks. I think if it's been unblocked, I lead towards your first speculation.
All right, so everyone's heading up to the cave.
Yeah.
I gotta tear down this medical equipment and get it ready to move, so we can investigate this other cave. So unfortunately, I will not be gone.
All right, so you'll be staying behind. The porters will be breaking down the camp and packing it up in a way that you guys can move it to another site. And
But here comes the fun part, because eventually the porters are going to go with everything, and I'll be left out in the middle of freaking nowhere.
no, they're not gonna leave you until the rest
Okay.
of them come back. But yeah, they're just making everything ready for the camp to move.
To the south.
So yeah, just packing up the tents and everything. So the rest of you, yeah, you get up to the cave, and once again, like, so roll another track for anyone that feels like it.
Yeah, I don't really have it, but I'll try.
That was 10%, might as well.
Yeah.
Although I don't think I would be doing that, so I won't.
Well, you
So
could
yeah,
be-
Harold.
Just glancing at the ground, but I don't think I am.
Well, you could be doing it with all the enthusiasm of someone who thinks that they've figured out what
Right.
the actual trackers are doing.
So yeah, Harold kind of points out that there are two different sets of these tracks. Some of them have like your prints over them,
Yeah.
and some of them are over your prints. So it looks as if these creatures have come and gone since you left last night. And yeah, once you get in, you pass those statues as you're heading up to the door, and yeah, all the rocks that you had placed in that hole to try and shut it up are now laying on the ground right beneath where that hole is.
Yeah, so they pushed their way out. So it was the same creatures we saw that moved the body.
Yes, that does show a high level of intelligence.
Shall we go through and get the artifact?
I think so, but I would caution everybody to keep your hostility towards these creatures in check, if they are as intelligent as I think they are.
All right, so who's going through first?
I'll go for it.
All right.
No.
I was going to
Yeah,
volunteer
either me
Brandon.
or
I'll go
Arthur can lead the way.
Yeah, I'll go first.
All right.
But I want to, poke my head through and shine the light real good everywhere. Make sure it's safe.
So yeah, first
How-
Higgins
how
is
big
just
is
about
this
to
hole?
start crawling through it. It's about a little bit bigger than a basketball. So
It's like big enough for us to squeeze through.
yeah.
And then what about once we get in?
Then it's like an open.
Yeah, then it opens up.
back up. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, first Higgins walks up like he's about to just go right on through, and Arthur's like, whoa.
Yeah, hang on a second. Let me go through, Professor.
I just always think it would be better if I went first, since I'm a full-figured academic. That way we don't split the party with me stuck in between.
So yeah, Arthur pull out your magnum.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's crawling through. He's got a light source in one hand, and he's got his magnum in the other as he goes through. Once you get to the other side, roll a listen check. Okay.
All right, yeah. So I get through there, and I'm gonna listen with all my heart. Success.
Nice. Yeah. All right. So yeah, you listen and you listen, and you're kind of trying to hear for that sound that you'd associated with them before, but dead silence.
Okay. I don't hear. I'll whisper back. I don't hear anything.
All right, let's go through. Lead the way, James.
All right.
Yeah, so I'll move forward enough to make room for them.
Are we doing dex rolls again, or just
Um.
assuming we've worn the path?
Yeah, we'll assume that you've worn the path. You've kind of gotten your shimmy down.
So we all go through. We get the artifact.
It's gone.
No, once you get to the
Yeah.
other side, it is actually in the exact same spot where you had left it before.
All right.
Well, let's have the scouts lead us down to the end of the junction and see what's there.
Okay.
That's what always gets them.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's
Can I
safe
do,
this part. Let's go a little bit further.
Like a track, or I don't know if that would be the right one. Is I guess spot hidden. Just looking for any little hidey holes that these things could be lurking into ambushes.
Yeah, actually, everyone do a spot hidden check as you're moving down that hallway, and it is about 12, 13 feet wide, about 9, 10 feet high on this side, and those statues do line both sides. Once again, kind of following the same pattern where they're standing, kneeling, eventually laying down, and then from the laying down, then they kind of go reverse through back up to standing, and it just kind of follows that pattern about every 5 to 6 feet. All right, spot hidden. All right. So, no, you don't see any hidey holes. It's kind of hard to hide much because these walls are just worked stone, just flat. You can see glyphs on them, but for the most part, you don't know what they mean. Like, they don't look familiar. Higgins and Sterling. Higgins, you're the first one to point it out, but Sterling, you're not far behind him. Every iteration of these statues changes slightly.
Like in pose or in the form?
In the form and the depiction. Like, they're all of a woman, but as you go down, you start realizing that some of her features changes with each iteration. Like her hands will be, like her fingers will be longer, almost more like ape-like, or her features will be more angular in one iteration than the next. She'll be slightly larger in one. Her feet will look just slightly different in the next one. You even see one where it almost looks like she has gills.
Well, very curious. Transformation narrative here.
Yeah.
To something aquatic.
Well, that one with the gills was like midway down. So yeah, like like all of them are human shaped, just slightly variated.
Okay, so it doesn't seem like this is a progression exactly, but more like different things in each one.
Yeah.
Like almost like if I were to just show a series of different animals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But all on the same woman, just sort of okay.
Yeah, just like almost like if you're doing a character creation and you change one feature about them in each iteration, but then you go back to the base in between.
Some sort of expression of animism, perhaps. Sterling, what do you think?
Yeah, it's as if each time they create the sculpture, they add or subtract something new.
And James, roll your occult.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Occult. Fail.
All right.
Push it.
Well, can I push this one? I suppose I have to come up with an idea.
Maybe, no.
Well, I could go to a different...
Culture.
skill, maybe like a history or anthropology. So I'm thinking of like occult stories at first, but maybe there's something more historical or that I heard that a different tribe did that might fit into that slot. Would be the only way I can think of pushing it. Or it's not explicitly some like black magic tome I read it from, but just something I heard that's interesting about a tribe in Australia or whatever.
Yeah, go ahead.
So anthropology.
Yeah.
Here's the push, 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Something bad's going to happen.
Always
Extreme.
All right. So yeah, you're actually reminded of the local Hopi Indian legend of the underworld.
Oh, okay.
Where originally their tribe and their people had started underneath the ground, and then there was a schism, and it was told that there were two groups that formed. One was of one heart and one was of two heart, and the ones that were of two heart left the underground and the underworld and the denizens of the depths, and went up to the surface. And those are the people that are now known as the Hopi tribe. But
the one heart remained behind.
Yeah, the one heart remained behind, and it was actually
Well,
Jacob, Harold, roll your Hopi storytelling again. So yeah, this sparks in your mind.
Yeah, I'll
And-
start sharing it all, and I'll say it's just blind luck. I happened to be reading about them because I knew they were in this area, and I just read it recently on the travel down here, but I'll share what I knew.
All right. And Harold, roll one more.
Unfortunately, I have no inner monologue. So,
So I say no.
All right.
nice.
So as he's talking through this legend, you of course, having been raised by the Hopi, know quite a bit more in depth about it. And the legend goes that before humans became what they were, that they had to kind of grow into becoming human, and that there was demons and gods that led their progression to becoming human. Mm-hmm. And that each of these statues could represent like an attempt by one of the gods to refine humanity based on other animals.
I see.
Are there any gods that they had brought with them out of the underworld?
The two heart ones?
About?
No, the schism was actually about that. The two hearts wanted to live their own life. They wanted to split off and live their existence, whereas the ones of one heart were still kind of being stepstones towards a different race, but they had almost like a hive mind type of mentality.
So they were like all trying to find their form that they wanted to take?
More like they were worshippers of a deity that was trying to perfect the human race, and so they were fanatical worshippers of that deity.
So that's what these figures represent as different attempts, perhaps, by the gods, the Hopi gods.
Yeah, kind of the progression of humanity becoming humanity. Little tweaks here, little tweaks there, until they've kind of solidified into what became humans.
I
Fortunately,
suppose it's one of those curiosities of mythologically true, mirroring what we've discovered in evolution. Sorry, good doctor, I know that isn't it. Oh, right. Oh, right, he didn't come. Anyhow.
reflexive apology.
Right. Well, it says I'm well liked, but it's actually difficult to play a well liked person.
Yeah.
Especially if there's this implicit idea that I'm always like nattering on. But yeah.
But we know from character creation in video games that how you do it is you put those sliders to an extreme and then you tone them down. So as you guys are walking down this cave, stuff's going to start getting real bad for you.
But yeah, as you're walking down, let's see, Arthur and Harold, roll your natural world.
Oh, nice.
Nice. And Harold, you got a hard success. All right. So both of you have noticed that there is wind in this tunnel.
Yeah. I didn't want to say anything.
That's the first thing that kind of gets you. And, the archaeologists have mentioned that, the way that the walls are shaped is as if, wind has been blowing through them. Harold, you notice that it seems to come in gusts, like almost like there's a pattern to it. So yeah, you'll get a bit of a gust, and then there will be no wind, and then there will be a gust, and then there will be no wind.
Almost like a
Arthur, you attribute it to almost like the pattern of someone breathing, like a long breath. Like when there's not wind, it's almost like a missing inhale.
Okay.
But then the exhale comes, and you get that's a steady wind that kind of ramps up and then tails off, and it follows that pattern, almost like something is breathing through this tunnel.
Yeah. So I'll point that out. That I noticed that this breeze is very regular.
Yeah, and
Anybody
Harold,
else
you
notice that?
Yeah, Harold, you immediately recognize it along with it.
It's like some
I
great
realized
creature is breathing. Perhaps a dragon?
As he's
No.
always plays it straight, I'll be quite alarmed at this.
But it seems too regular to be natural to me.
Yeah, I've never, even in the pyramids, the places where they've planned to have a breeze through it, the only way it would be so regular is if it was like a wind, like a strange weather phenomenon. It's unlikely.
Right. So yeah, you kind of notice all these things as you're walking along, and it goes on for quite a while, but eventually you hit a cave-in. And in that cave-in, it looks like the walls kind of collapsed in. You can still see the semblance of like worked stone, but there are tunnels roughly the size of a football that go through it at several different places.
These creatures must be smaller than I thought.
Or they can constrict themselves more than it seems they could.
But yeah, the entire way you've been listening for them, you've been looking for them, nothing.
Okay. And so we've reached this point where now the only holes are these football-sized ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I want to put the electric torch up and see how far they go.
You can see down there, but it has kind of the semblance of rubble that's been tunneled through slightly, where it's almost like stones have been removed while the rest of it. So it kind of moves around a bit. You can't really see how, like, all the way through it.
Okay.
But yeah, you can see that it goes back a little ways, and then it kind of dips a little bit and turns a little bit.
How many are there?
There are about a half a dozen of them.
Okay. Well, we're not going to fit through here, gentlemen, right?
Nope.
Yeah. Another dead end then.
Mm-hmm. Seems to be.
Well, tomorrow we can be at the cave to the south.
Can I do a track to see if I don't know. Again, I don't know if it'll be track or hot spot hidden, but if there was anything that I can see that's been disturbed by something, an animal moving through or a person moving through.
Like check and see if it's like frequently used game trail type thing.
Yeah. Because,
Which one's
I
the-
mean, these things had to have come from somewhere, and they're obviously not here. We haven't seen any signs of them living in this area that we've been walking through, so they had to have gone somewhere.
We were here yesterday towards the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So perhaps they have some evening to night. What do they call that?
But yeah, roll your track and your spot hidden.
They're sleeping.
Circadian or is it
Yeah, the rhythm, I can't. Diurnal is when you're... I think-
diurnal and nocturnal?
Yeah.
So no, yeah, in this
Close
cave.
my eyes and shake my head. Nope, can't see anything, guys.
Well, in the cave, there's not a whole lot of dust or anything like that you can see. So it's really difficult to tell if something's been disturbed or not, or how long it's been since it was disturbed.
Yeah, I think we'll have to try and see if we can find another path through.
Yeah. Or the southern cave that the other people scouted.
Yeah, let's make our way back to camp and send them back to the rafts to meet us on Bright Angel Creek.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, yeah, about midday, the rest of the party comes back, and Williams and Higgins. So Sterling and Higgins are discussing back and forth over this stone that Williams has cradling that he brings back.
Yeah, I figure I would have spent my time helping the guides pack up, get ready for that. But unfortunate, I was hoping you guys would bring home one of them lizards. No such luck.
What does that rock say that you're carrying?
Well, I forget what it says.
So
I could. It has both the ancient Egyptian language that I know and the runes that we've seen by these statues. So I was able to make a translation.
So yeah, you've got Egyptian and Sumerian. So roll both of those.
What did you do, Justin? Come on.
So you can't translate it in whole. Like it doesn't come across as any kind of text that you can just say. Right now you're kind of cursing. Actually, roll your library use, and we'll do a group luck as well.
Maybe find if he had some books
I
that
got
were...
a 44 for my luck. Or sorry, 48. Who's got higher?
Who's got the lowest
41.
luck?
What are we doing, luck?
Yeah. Who's got the lowest luck?
Oh, we're looking for lowest.
34.
34.
Travis is 55.
All right, so 34. Roll your luck.
I'll use luck.
All right, so you don't have you don't remember like all the text, but you do have you did happen to bring a book that has some of what you had studied with you. And using your library use, you can pull up your old, like your journal and other things, and use that to decipher part of it. And what you do find speaks of health and rejuvenation. But there is also mention of Anubis and the gods of the underworld.
So I'll share that with the group. See, here these glyphs go back to the Egyptian god Anubis. So there is some kind of overlap, although it's not as clear to me as I thought it was yesterday. I'm not sure what they're trying to tell us, if anything. It could be just something about healing, something about rejuvenation in the mountains.
Perhaps that's why the man came to the cave, but perhaps his death was just accidental. He wasn't killed by these creatures, but
he was there because of the legends of rejuvenation.
Because of the cancer.
Precisely.
Well, what I want to know is who brought all these statues and whatnot, and when did they do it? Because I'm not sure how they could have all got that up there without, me or people like me that regularly...
These are ancient. I, too, thought maybe it was Kincaid coming to plant some evidence, but
kind of hard to plant.
The structures are too massive, too immense.
Kincaid, who's been, kind of quiet for the most part. He had been staying behind with the doctor and helping oversee things. He's like, I would never. This is exactly what I've been trying to prove so that I can regain my...
He covers up some stuff he'd scratched into the dirt.
Lay off it, Kincaid.
Just in case we didn't find anything or bring anything back.
Lay off it, Kincaid. All you gotta do is listen to yourself speak.
Ramses was here. He's carving it.
It's all true.
So, let's see here. Travis, if you want to make either an occult or a library use to do your skill in abnormal studies for translation.
So that it? Are we done here, gentlemen? I found your proof. Oh.
We found the proof.
I don't know if one item would really constitute proof, though. I am also
Kincaid says
interested
no.
in these lizard
No,
guys.
we are not done yet. They will not accept this as proof. I need to find the cave that I need to find a way back to the cave that I had found before that has the statue and has the mummies in the sarcophagus.
Well, it could be proof, but we won't know until I think we're right on the edge of radiocarbon type stuff.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be until we can take it back to the Smithsonian and have is it a tablet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and one of the problems is that it's a stone tablet,
Right.
which you can't really do radiocarbon dating on it. And so,
Oh, come on, Kincaid. If we got wild creatures out here throwing rocks and bashing in cancer patients' brains, yeah, you at least need to make it back to civilization. So with your proof, we die out here in some damn tunnel, ain't no one gonna know. Except for me, I don't want to die in a tunnel.
we've got the porters with us, and they can take word back if we don't. And they know where we're headed, and they can send people to help us if we get trapped or injured in any way.
No.
Yeah, and I will send this tablet with them down to the rafts to meet us on the other side.
Isn't that what Kincaid did last time?
So Higgins, yeah, that is actually what he did. He had sent stuff back with people had come with him and sent it on a train, and it never arrived at its destination. But Higgins, yeah, you using it almost like a Rosetta Stone and using the few pieces that he was able to translate it from the Egyptian, you're able to start kind of pointing out glyphs in this weird language that likely correspond to the same kinds of things. Like you see them in both places multiple times, and so yeah, you're starting to decode this new language a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'll begin, scribbling furiously in my journal any correlation I can make.
Yeah.
As much as I can before we decide to leave.
We're in the middle of a conversation, boy. It's kind of rude that you've just got your nose in that notebook.
You're quite right, Doctor. I'll put it away. My fingers twitching. But I'll wonder what
There you go.
what I did to the doctor. He's got it out for me.
I kind of have it out for everyone. Kind of.
Cantankerous.
Yeah. It's because my feet is one blister. I ain't walking on no skin and bone. It all blister down there. Here, have yourself a nip of this.
I'll pass it on to the next person.
All right. So, do you move the camp today, or do you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the idea was to break down and begin hiking towards our southern camp.
All right. So yeah, you follow that purple trail that somebody put on the map, and when you come out, so yeah, just like Jacobson had mentioned, at the entrance to the cave here, it's just like any other cave, although you recognize the signs of the same kind of thing where little bits of worked stone that you can make out, but most of it is kind of windblown, and it's just a wide open tunnel all the way down. For some reason, this one doesn't have statues, although it almost seems like there's rubble of those statues.
So we setting up camp outside the tunnel or on the other side?
On the other side.
You just want me walking all day.
Well, once you get to the other side, over here, you have to climb down a pretty steep cliff face from where the tunnel exits. But there is a location here where you can make up a decent camp.
So we make our camp there, and then what time is it?
By the time you get there, because it's in that kind of canyon, the light's already dimming.
had a very vivid image of you convincing us to make you a palanquin and you're just fanning yourself.
I was actually waiting for him to propose that.
But I know we're all excited, but if I might suggest that we wait until first light to enter this cave, just out of an abundance of caution, as these creatures appear to be less active.
Now you're here.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. But I think we should still do guards, watchmen at night.
Well, when you say that, I
Yes.
always assume it means the hired help,
Yeah.
and not us from the Smithsonian.
We got a water source nearby.
There is a Bright Angel Creek that's just down a little ways from where you are.
All right.
And yeah, Arthur and Harold can go and fill up any canteens that are running light. But
Well, I need to soak my feet after all that hiking.
yeah, the source of the stream is not too far away. If you don't mind, it's about a quarter of a mile hike down from where you are.
Oh, good Lord.
So yeah, you can see the spring, but whether or not you actually want to go to it is
You know what? I will.
okay.
All right, I'm going to take a hike on down to that stream over there, get myself some water, dip my feet.
So yeah, well,
As
you're
I'll go
taking
with
your
you to fill some canteens if you don't mind the company.
This has been a Deathwatch production. Thank you for listening.